Hello, everyone. It is 2:27 p.m. Chicago time. It is hump day. I kind of forgot it was hump day, right?
I'm
And
losing weight
we're
and
going
feeling
to
confident
be,
thanks to
this is an
hers.
ad,
I
a
got
very
prescribed.
loud ad. I am sorry. We are going to be talking about the government. We are going to be talking about drones, missing radioactive materials supposedly over New Jersey, and we're going to be talking about Project Bluebeam, right? There are so many sightings in New Jersey recently of these drones flying all over the country. So there have been so many people divided, right? Because again, this is what they like us to do. They like to divide us. They like to split us up, and we need to talk about these drone sightings. Now, a lot of people have said that this is Project Bluebeam. So if you don't know what Project Bluebeam is, I'm just going to sum it up as basically Project Bluebeam being a government faking an alien invasion with drones. Let me check the chat and see if you guys are in here. Again, this is a topic that is a little bit different than we talk about, and that's okay, right? I think it's important to talk about these things that are going on in the world, right? You have to understand, right? If you are not a conspiracy theorist, if you don't like going down these rabbit holes, that's fine. But we still have to understand from a psychological perspective why so many people do believe in these conspiracies and why so many people do decide to go down these rabbit holes such as Project Bluebeam. And again, this all comes back to a lack of trust. So many Americans have lost trust in the media, in politics. They don't trust Biden. And can we blame them? They don't trust politicians in general, left or right. It doesn't matter. And we definitely do not trust CEOs so suddenly, right? So I see there's 6 of you in here already. Please give it a like. There should be 6 likes, right? The people in here should match likes. So I don't have my clear mug, but I am drinking a black coffee here. A change from the spicy hot cocoa we had in the live of this morning, right? So I'm pulling up this document that I found that was posted yesterday by the New York Post that is covering these missing radioactive materials in New Jersey. And of course, this is going to spark drone theories, right? Because now people are saying, look, if it's not the government faking an alien invasion with these drones, then these drones must be looking for something. They must be looking for something. Why have there been over 5,000 sightings of these drones and we still have no idea what they are, right? So, of course, people are going to fill in the holes of information that the government has not given us with we're gonna fill it with our own theories. That's what humans do, right? So just for those of you who have not been keeping tabs on these drones, all these sightings have been in New Jersey, in New York. I have friends in the Tennessee area who have also contacted me and saying that they have even seen them in the Tennessee area. And we still don't know what they are. It's like, what is going on? What is going on, right? All along the coast. Some people have seen them in Atlantic City, even Philadelphia, a lot of sightings as well. But most of them are focused in the New York, New Jersey area. And in fact, the FBI themselves came forward to talk to the New York Post and mention that there have been over 5,000 reports of these sightings. So what are they doing? Because now, again, we are all speculating. A lot of people in social media are saying these drones that are patrolling the New Jersey skies are actually searching the area for radioactive waste. And this is not so far-fetched, right? Thank you, James. Oh, you left the cutest umbrella at $1.49. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And this is not that far-fetched, right? People are like, what? Radioactive waste? This is a completely different theory. But let me tell you a little something that they haven't really come out and said so openly, which is that we actually lost some radioactive medical equipment. I don't know about you guys, look, but when the US Nuclear Regulatory Commission issues an alert, they did so earlier this week, and they're coming out and saying that, look, there was a piece of medical equipment that is used for cancer scans that was lost in transit while being shipped from NASA Cancer Center in Newfield in southern New Jersey. First of all, like, how do you lose this in transit, right? I don't know how you lose it, but allegedly they said that they found the shipping container, which had arrived at the destination, damaged and empty. I'm sorry, but like, this is a big deal, right? This is a big deal. And what are these agencies going to come out and do? Again, yes, the U.S. Nuclear Commission, the Regulatory Commission, came out and said, you know, yes, it's an alert. Yes, it's radioactive, but actually it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole, but we have had a massive increase in all types of cancer, especially in young people. And I'm a research scientist, right? You guys, if you follow me on my Instagram, you see the tumors that I process. And then they tell us, yeah, this radiation source is actually less than a category 3 on the International Atomic Energy Agency scale. So it's unlikely to cause permanent damage to individuals, right? And there's so little radioactive material that it's not that big of a deal. I'm sorry, but any radioactive material, when you have a whole shipping container that just is damaged and empty, I'm not buying it, right? I'm not buying it that it's not a big deal. But we know that these agencies like to downplay the dangers of this radioactive chemical, germanium-68, right? This chemical, germanium-68, is used in PET scanners to calibrate them so that they're accurate. So it's a big deal, right? If you take anything away from this is, again, the government, these agencies trying to tell you that this is not a big deal. When, again, if you have used PET scanners before or any of these radioactive chemicals, you know that it's a big deal. Again, trying to fool Americans, right? They think that we are stupid. They don't want people to panic. So how does that tie in with these drones that have been seen all over the New Jersey skies? Are these drones actually searching for radioactive waves or radioactive chemicals or spills? And the New York Post, as usual, sides with political agencies saying that, you know, it's a theory, it's a controversy, that they're not looking for that. Okay, then tell us what these drones are doing so that the American people can stop speculating. Why don't you just tell us what they're doing? Now, it is a probable theory, but we have to step away from theories sometime, right? Could it be looking for radioactive material? Sure. The problem is that these drones have not only been seen in New Jersey, PA, New York, Tennessee, they have been seen across the globe, all over our military bases, right? Every military base that we have, for example, you guys know that I have been stationed overseas when I was active duty. We have bases everywhere. We have bases in Spain, we have bases in Africa, we have bases in the UK, we have bases everywhere. So I don't think that they're looking for radioactive material. Personally, I don't think that they care that any radioactive material was spilled. Why? Because they're downplaying it. They're saying it's not that big of a deal. And we know, because this has happened before, where radioactive materials or carcinogenic chemicals get in the water, get in the food, they don't give a damn. They let it. They allow it to continue until these small towns like get together and like, oh my God, you've been poisoning us for 30 years, right? So I don't think they're actually searching. I don't think they care that much, right? Jupiter Clark, I see Jupiter Clark in the chat. Let me pull up the chat here. And bear with me, because I know that the earlier live that I did, it like cut off my signal. My internet here is freaking horrific. I don't know how, because I'm downtown Chicago, baby. How does that even happen? Just give me a second. Please be patient. By the way, if any of you are tech savvy, please let me know if there is a decent laptop that I can get to possibly stream out of, right? Because I have a really crappy $100 laptop that I've had for a long time. I'm surprised it actually has worked this long for $100. I need a better laptop that is $500 or less. Please let me know if you know of any good computers. So the chat is pulling up here. What do you guys think about this bizarre story? These drones all over. Are any of you guys on the East Coast, or are any of you guys overseas where you have seen them? Maybe you live overseas. Maybe you live in Australia where you have seen drones right outside of where you live, right? Jupiter Clark, I see the chat. Doc, hey Nika, you're busy today. I'm actually not busy today. That's why I'm hanging out, right? You guys know I have COVID. I get to go back to work tomorrow. So I've just been eating food and cooking. I just made chili for the hubs. And I figured I had some time to kill before he gets home. Which is why we should be talking about these things, right? Use time wisely. Hi, Owen. Hi, Susie. Hi, Jupiter Clark. Hi, Lisa. Lisa, the government needs to come clean. They're wasting so much money that we do not have. Exactly. And let me tell you a little bit something about wasting money, right? For people who were in the military ever, especially active duty military, there was a time while I was active duty enlisted overseas that they actually held our paychecks. There was like a whole thing where the government was doing really bad with money as usual. And they're like, yeah, we're not going to pay you guys for like a month, right? So we had to wait a full month. Normally the military gets paid every 2 weeks, twice a month. And they held our paychecks, right? Us little workers, us worker bees that make things happen, we were not paid, right? So again, don't be mad at the little people, right? At the peasants. Don't be mad at all of us who are doing the work, right? Because we needed to feed our family or whatever. Get mad at the people who are spending your money, my money, our tax money in a useless manner, right? Get mad at them. Owen Gordon says, I need drones to photograph commercial property I sell, and the effing laws are ridiculous. I know. That's crazy. Oh, and I'm just curious, are you, maybe you've told me already, you're in Maryland, right? It's funny because here in Illinois, you can fly like a drone and take pictures. I know people who do this for a living. They fly a drone and they'll take a picture of like your roof, and then they'll be like, oh, your roof looks damaged. Would you like to buy a new roof? And it's Illinois. So it's interesting to me, right? But then the government can do whatever they want, right? So here we are talking about the government. Is this the government? I think it's the government, right? Because again, if we have things that are in our airspace, we would have knocked it down already. We would have knocked it down. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, look, it's our government. We do a lot of things without the people knowing. But again, just tell the people what you're doing. You don't have to go in full detail. Like if you're doing some sort of mission or some sort of drone testing, we know all that does need to remain private, remain quiet, right? Because if it's something that is going to affect a military mission, then yeah, you're not going to disclose every little bit of information, obviously, but you could at least like put a report out there like, hey, people of the East Coast, you might see some drones out there. Do not be alarmed. The end. How hard was that? Oh, Owen Gordon says, I'm not worried about the ones I see. I'm worried about the ones I don't. Exactly. So a lot of people here from the East Coast and from Jersey. Interesting. Ruby says, when the next generation of children are all microchipped, there will be no need for drones. Okay, so now you guys know my take on this. I just think it's the government, but we're gonna go into this conspiracy theory. Some people believe it's real of Project Bluebeam because a lot of you guys have asked me to cover it, right? You reached out today through Instagram and you told me, please talk about Project Bluebeam. Let us know, what do you think about Project Bluebeam, because they want to know my point of view as somebody who was in the military before. Now, I am well versed on all of the military projects, the horrific things that have gone behind the scenes, that have taken place behind the scenes, studying things that were technically illegal on the general population, not only military studies, but CIA studies. We know of MK Ultra, for example, FBI studies. There's always things that are going on in the background, right? Now, Project Bluebeam specifically is a conspiracy that like existed probably 10, 15 years ago, and it ties back to the United Nations and secret societies trying to create a new world order by implementing a new age religion headed by the Antichrist. And people who believe in Project Bluebeam in this conspiracy theory are saying that the government, under this new world order, this one government, right, is going to utilize advanced technology to try to trick people into believing in this religion or into believing in aliens, for example, and then using that to basically control the population, right? So if they succeed in this mission, then all of the traditional religions and governments and separate political differences that we have would be basically abolished, right? And all national identities would be removed in favor of a one world religion or a one world government. Now, when you first understand this like conspiracy theory, it does sound far-fetched, right? And I love a good conspiracy theory, but we know that we've been trying, right? If you've been keeping up with politics, we have been trying to do the one world government for a while now, right? And part of that has been the United Nations, right? So let me know in the chat, what do you guys think about Project Bluebeam, this hypothetical totalitarian dictatorship, basically, and the conspiracy theory behind it all? Because what I'm concerned about is that, look, the government loves to lie to their people, right? Not just our government, not just the American government. The governments in general love to lie to their people. And just a few years ago, the governments across the world came out, politicians came out, presidents came out, Mexican presidents, French presidents, Belgium, all these politicians from all over the world were like, aliens are real. We are not alone, right? And I'm not saying that we are alone. I don't know. Maybe God made many other things that we don't know about. We don't know. But when your government is openly telling you that aliens are real, and not just our government, but every government came out, even the Mexican president was like, aliens are real, Mexicans, eat your beans because they are coming. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. And the fact that they all came out and said this at the same time, they're like, we have video evidence. We have video evidence. We have proof. I'm like, oh my God, that is not a good sign, right? Because that is kind of pointing to this conspiracy theory, like of governments coming together, becoming one world order. Is it that far-fetched? What do you guys think? That being said, the analytical part of me, because that can be both, right? We are all scientists, right? You don't need a master's degree in research or whatever to be a scientist. We are all scientists. We're born to question things. And you have to do both. So Project Bluebeam, a little far-fetched, but when you break it down, not so far-fetched. Because again, we have seen what governments have the capacity to do. And we know that they lack the empathy. So if the technology existed and it does, to be able to do this sort of thing, we know that the IQ of a lot of Americans, a lot of people has dropped over like the last 5 decades, right? Dramatically dropped. That's not good, right? That's how you control people as a government. You dumb your people down and then you do whatever you want, basically, right? That's how you control them. The analytical part of me is like, this is a very tempting conspiracy theory. It's very tempting. The analytical part of me also understands that when you get too deep in these rabbit holes, it's not good. It's not good, right? Because then you are losing your footing, right? They like to release bits of information in the media about aliens being real, politicians coming forward. Is it done in a manner to try to confuse us, to try to distract us from what's actually going on? We have to be very careful with who we listen to, what we listen to, right? It's very dangerous. Again, it's great to entertain conspiracy theories. It's great to educate yourself on them and to kind of keep them in the back of your mind. But don't get too sucked into, conspiracy theories, UN or Illuminati, single world government. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I have no idea. But what we do know, the reality of the situation is that it's very likely that our own government is doing something or planning to do something to their own people as usual. And you let a conspiracy theory out in the wild and now people are distracted. Right? When you are steeped in fear-mongering and when you're reliant on concerns about the Antichrist or alien invasions or the Illuminati, you are not so present in the real shit that's going on all around you. Wake up, people. Again, I love reading this stuff. I find it fascinating. And again, especially because I was in the military and I'm aware of all these experiments that are being done on people, have been done on people, on the general population without their consent. One of the reasons I got out of the military, because I don't agree with that, right? You live and you learn. Be very careful in what you believe in, what you take as total truth. And personally, do not trust your government. So, in this New York Post titled Missing Radioactive Materials in New Jersey Sparks Drone Theories. They're looking for something. The mayor said this. The mayor said this, okay? The New Jersey mayor warned on Tuesday that these drone sightings could be linked to this missing radioactive material. But federal officials are saying it's not really a threat. Don't worry about it. It's just radioactive, you know. It could cause cancer, but it won't probably. Yeah. How does that make you feel? Especially if you live in that East Coast area where you're seeing the drones. How does that make you feel? Especially if you have children or people who are sick already. Yeah, it's just a damaged container, right? There's just a tiny amount of radioactive germanium-68 in there. It's just a little radioactive. It'll be fine. Okay. Yes. Yes, sir. Is that what we're supposed to do? And they said that this was an unfounded theory that was propagated by John Ferguson. Now, if you don't know who John Ferguson is the CEO of a remote aircraft system company in Kansas who claimed in a video that had been seen about 3 million times on X that the drones were basically trying to smell, pick up basically a gas leak, right? Or some radioactive material. And he went on to mention the only reason why you would ever fly an unmanned aircraft at night is if you're looking for something. Ferguson said in this clip, noting he doesn't believe the drones are a threat to the public. And while he doesn't believe that they're a threat to the public, still, most Americans, we are very concerned about the drone situation, right? Especially when you look at our economy, especially when you have people out there propagating another theory that these are actually Iranian drones. Again, the conspiracy theories trying to point the finger to other countries as usual, right? We love to blame, it's China, it's Russia, it's Putin. Baby, it's your president, probably. Our president, right? It's our own government. Stop looking outside. Stop looking outside. You know, we have enough problems as is here. Tri-state residents and lawmakers have been fuming over the lack of explanation from the federal government over these drone sightings. These drone sightings are not new, by the way. Maybe you haven't realized, but these drone sightings have happened for over a month now. And they're all over the skies. People have, here's one here, there's one there. Look at that picture. They're everywhere. 5,000 tips to the FBI reported. And I'm like, come on. The FBI must know. The FBI instead is like, we have been investigating this, but we really don't know. We have closely examined the technical data and the tips from concerned citizens. We assess that the sightings to date include a combination of lawful commercial drones, hobbyist drones, and law enforcement drones, as well as manned fixed-wing aircraft, helicopters, and stars mistakenly reported as drones. I'm sorry, most people are intelligent enough to not confuse a drone with a star. The FBI does not think highly of Americans. They think we're out here confusing stars by drones. I'm sorry, babe, but the drones move much faster, right? And of course, we have hobbyist drones and the lawful commercial drones. FBI, just tell us. Just tell us already, please. Why won't they tell us, right? Even if it's something military, again, they don't have to give us super secret information. You could just tell us, look, it's a military training. That's it. I think part of it is because they like when we live in fear. This is what I was talking about yesterday, that again, people took things out of context. We were talking about a YouTuber who wears makeup and stuff. He covers his face because of fear. Stop living in fear, right? We all discover horrific things about our governments, about secret cults, about whatever. Don't live in fear, right? This doesn't mean you have to give your social or your birthday or your street address to YouTube strangers, but like, this is how we are controlled when you live in fear. Don't live in fear. They love when you live in fear. Don't let them control you. I have so many people that are afraid to leave a comment. They're messaging me on Instagram privately, or they're, doing things privately, and they're like, no, I'm afraid. I don't like sending messages on YouTube because I'm afraid. It's like, baby, don't be afraid, right? No need to be afraid. Truth conquers all. Yes, exactly. Right. And if you're doing the right thing, that's all that matters. No need to hide behind makeup or wigs or whatever. Right. They love that. They feed off of that fear. So it is what it is. Rod says, paint your roof blue, maybe another Maui. That's funny. It's dark humor, right? Either way, guys, let me know. What do you think about these drones? What do you think about this missing radioactive material that now the government is telling us, don't worry about it, You might get cancer, but the risk is low. The risk is low. Rod says, good morning from Australia. Hi, Australia. Ooh. Essie Michael says, hi, Nika. I hope you're feeling better. The government treats us like children. They think we cannot handle anything. I'm from PA. Ooh, another person from PA. That's cool. Welcome, Essie. Hi, I am feeling much better. Thank you. Do you say Zyra? Zyra or Zira? I have a BS degree. A bachelor's or like a BS, like the word, like bullshit. Oh, and we need computers, not real estate. Who said that, Zyra? Again, I haven't watched him to really know if he's good or not. I need to watch him, right? I'm sure he's great. I believe you guys. You guys usually, but this isn't about his content being good or not. It's about hiding. I'm not a fan of that. It's about hiding. We all get threats, guys. Trust me, I've been on YouTube for over a decade. Deplatformed, demonetized, for speaking the truth. Right? Don't live in fear. If you believe in good versus evil, then there's no need to hide if you're doing the right thing. That's all I'm going to say about that. Amber says, hey, pretty Nika, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. Thank you, Amber. I'm done for the day. I think I'm going to go bake cookies, guys. I like to make these Russian tea cakes, like these little powdered sugar cookies. So I'm going to go do that. Jupiter Clark, I hope they are harmless. Poor USA doesn't need any more drama. We always have drama, right? Always have drama all the time. We go from Luigi Mangione to the school shooter yesterday in Madison to now drones all over the country. People saying it's going to be government alien invasion, or they're going to shoot us down, aka they being the military is going to shoot its people out. Some people have said the drones are from Iran. Some people have said the drones are Chinese, and Biden loves the Chinese. Don't get sidetracked. Again, I love a good conspiracy, but stay focused, right? Pay attention while you are learning about these conspiracy theories. Pay attention what's actually going on in the world, right? For example, this radioactive material that was just spilled, basically. How is that going to affect the people on the East Coast? How's that going to affect the children? And I saw somebody mention it, but I can't see that comment anymore. I don't know if it was removed or if I'm just behind, but they mentioned in the chat the 2 missiles. I believe, are you talking about the 2 missiles that were fired from the F-16 fighter jet over Lake Huron that landed in the water? Is that what you're talking about? Right? And then the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, General Mark Milley, had to come forward. This was last year, I believe. Had to come forward and was like, so the Army general, right? Was like, yeah, it just landed harmlessly in the water. It's harmless. We got missiles in the water and radioactive material on our land. That's great. Yeah, it was shot down back in like Valentine's Day last year, right? Amber, yes, all the water they're still dumping in the ocean, that's still affecting Japan and our West Coast. There's so much that we are doing, guys. And don't even get me started on 9/11, because I know military personnel who were stationed overseas when 9/11 was happening, like a year prior, right? We're not going to go down that rabbit hole, but there's a lot that our government does to its people to complete its missions. They don't care if they're hurting people overseas. They don't care if they're hurting Americans. They don't care about me or you. They don't care about poisoning our water, our food supply, radioactive material, probably cancer for some people down the road, right? They don't care about missing missiles in the water. Yeah, we shot down the object, but it landed harmlessly in the water. Oh my God. Either way, guys, I'm gonna go bake cookies. It's enough internet for the day. Enough internet for the day. You guys have a wonderful night. Let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know, please, your thoughts on these drones, on this radioactive material that is now spilled. Sounds like everywhere, because sounds like the shipping container was completely empty. Or is it the aliens? Look, I'm not saying aliens aren't real, right? I'm not saying aliens aren't real. What I'm saying is that if aliens are real, the governments from across the world are not going to all come on national TV like they did the last year and prior and tell us the truth to our faces, right? All these presidents coming forward is a big red flag, right? If your government is coming, your government, meaning governments all across the world, coming forward to national TV and saying, yeah, aliens are real, guys. We're not alone. Take whatever your government says with a grain of salt, right? So that's it for the day, guys. Bam. See you soon. Thank you for joining me in the chat, by the way. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.